people think like I'm some like thug or some shit like that. It's like, no, it's just the way I carry myself is reminiscent of some shit that you would think is misconstrued with something that you got in your dumb fuck ass mind. But me, it's like the way I was raised, the way I'm perceived, and the way I am are three different fucking realities I'm not gonna break down to you.
Mad Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to build the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. He wet Prada, the devil like inside your box now. While the angels fly over my headstone.
We are back with another episode of the God's Hour podcast with your boy Big Sorbavelli, back in the place to be, La America Superior, Palace 81 Studios. I got a whole bunch of shit going on. You know why? I don't know if you fucking noticed or if you're blind or if you fucking got seen out of one eye. We are not actually in Palace 81. We are actually in Palace, the fucking car. And Gunther just hit me back up. Fuck. So, yeah, we're in a fucking heat wave. It's hotter than fucking Satan's girlfriend's booty cheeks that I probably clapped last week because she didn't know she was fucking with the God. But straight up, bruh, fuck this heat, bruh. We didn't hit a heat wave, and we haven't experienced a heat wave here in California for 2 years. I remember the last time we was in it, and this is super weird to me because I'm in my car. I have the car on with the AC, so I'm saving a whole bunch of gas and saving the Mother Earth with all the fucking fossil fuelings. But it's pretty weird because it's like, this is my Sunday night, but it's everyone else's workday night for the most part, I would say. So I'm literally, anyone could just see me like walk around with the fucking mic in my face. They're going to be like, is this for a Twitch streamer? No, bitch, I'm a big Serb streamer. So we haven't had a heat wave in 2 years. The last time we were in a heat wave, I was unloading a truck full of phones. I was unloading, or I guess that's the same shit, right? I was loading a truck full of phones for a phone company, right? And I remember asking the homie who served in Afghanistan, shout out to all the troops out there, but this fool survived Afghanistan. I think he did like, let's just say like a few tours, but this fool, and he wouldn't tell me shit about Afghanistan. Like he wouldn't say anything about what he did. You know, he just told me he did like 3 tours, and the brotherhood that you get from your comrades is like uncanny as fuck. You know what I mean? There's nothing that, and you gotta think, bro, like when you're with your homies, you with your guns, you fully loaded, you got the vests and shit like that, you in the Saharas or whatever the fuck, the jungles, and you in the war zone, and bullets is flying by, bodies are getting dropped, bombs are going off. Dog, ain't nothing compared to like when you go home after almost getting shot the fuck up and you eat a hot meal with your brothers and you thank God that you survived another day, you know what I mean? Or like when one of your best homies you did 4 tours with, you know, he ends up passing during the mission and you all say like Our Father together or something like that. Like I can imagine how sick that shit, like not how sick that feeling would feel, but how dope that brotherhood would be, because I've kind of had something similar with Boy Scouts, you know what I mean? We're basically, in my opinion, and this probably like reigns true from back then, but I feel like the Boy Scouts was a farming system into like the military. So the Cub Scouts goes into the Boy Scouts, because once you attain the rank of Eagle, I think you're a lieutenant automatically. Or maybe that was the rumors I heard, because you already to make Eagle Scout, you pretty much have to have like all the important merit badges like family life, first aid, and these are like the silver merit badges, which means like I think to make Eagle you have to have a certain amount, like let's just say like 20 or something like that. I had more than that. I think I had like 35 merit badges. Most of them were like the other ones that you didn't really need, like rifle shooting, shotgun shooting, kayaking, rowboating. But from what I remember, it was like family life, first aid, uh, um, environmental awareness, some shit like that. But it was something to where like you knew real life skills already, so by the time you were in the military you're better off more than all these other dumb fucks, because to attain these merit badges they had to have been signed off by an adult that actually knew what the fuck they were doing. Some of them were cool, they would give you like the benefit of the doubts, or some. I didn't really encounter too many leaders that would give you the merit badge just because they would give you it. Like you had to be ready and willing to learn and also like pass the courses, right? I learned a lot from Boy Scouts. I haven't talked about this on the podcast because whenever I think about the podcast, I mean the Boy Scouts, it brings me back to like Josh and Ian, who, for those who don't know, I always talk about them and why they were such traumatic passings. Like I've known about people who've passed away, but I wasn't close to them. Not only does it not hit home for me, but I wasn't close to them and we didn't grow up. Like Josh and Ian, I grew up with those guys. And it's just, it fucks me up every time I think about them because Ian was, I want to say 15 when he passed away, and Josh was like 21, and I'm older. I'm at least 10 years older than they were when they passed, or at least for Ian now. And then Josh, you know, I'm 5 years older than when he passed away. I just gave away my age right now. So fucking fun fact, you finally learn Cerbavelli's age if you ever watch the podcast right here. But my time in the Boy Scouts, and where did I go? The heat wave. So we'll go back to the heat wave later. But with the Boy Scouts, man, I think it's something that I want my son to be a part of. I do want children. I want at least one boy, one girl. If that's just not how it goes down, that's just not how it goes down. Boy Scouts was awesome. If you take away the passing of my homies, it was really something that I would love to be a part of. And also too, like my dad was a leader in it too, but like he was like the other leaders where they just were like more so chaperones and not really like a part of the organization of our troop. And a troop, for those who don't know, is like, I want to say every city has one troop. That's what I want to say. So every city gets what's called a troop full of Boy Scouts, and I want to say one troop of Boy Scout, Cub Scouts. Cub Scouts go in a Boy Scouts. My cousin Weddle was in Cub Scouts. I was never in Cub Scouts, but that's what makes it even more traumatic, because I know Josh was in Cub Scouts with a lot of his homies. They were Boy Scouts, and then Josh ended up being the youngest one of all his Cub Scout homies, who was in Boy Scouts. I got a burp or something. Oh man, I just ate like a whole bag of fucking super deluxe Cheetos, man, and my stomach is all fucked up. If I end up waking up like at 6 a.m. and throwing up and shitting my pants because I had too much salt, I really gotta cut that shit off. I really gotta cut the chips and shit. Going back to the Josh though, that's what made it even more sad, because it was like, had he just been the same age as all his other homies, like I feel like he wouldn't have committed suicide. And you know, like it's just hard, bro. Whenever like I have to think about my homies and shit, it's just like, I saw this shit. My mom had like, you know, when you go to a funeral and they have those like poems or cards like "Let me be" or "I have been set free," and it's a prayer, you know, don't be sad, I'm set free now, I'm with the fucking doves flying in paradise and spreading my wings and getting my dick sucked in the fucking Galapagos of heaven. You know, some of those are really cool, but some of those are really like, what the fuck is this shit? You know what I mean? Like my mom had one that was like, "Just let me go, let me be, your pain is like fucking irrelevant. You know what I mean? I'm where I'm supposed to be and you are where you are. Some bullshit like that where it was like, just let me go. And I'm like, bitch, you know, like, yeah, even if I let you go, it's like the memories and the pain will always be the same for me, bro. Like, I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, if it was like, if it was someone I wasn't even really as like cool with, like, let's just take for instance this girl, her name was Ashley. We went to high school together. I think I might have talked to her just like one time or something like that. But I kind of knew her. I knew like of her. I didn't know her very well, but even she, like, you know, self-inflicted death. I'm forever gonna remember her and being like, wow, dude. Like, I remember walking to like around school and seeing her and she's just gone. You know what I mean? Like, she'll never. Did she have a kid? I don't know. But that's the even like crazy part, because you got to think like, okay, like this is high school, but like later on, you know, she passes. So it's like, if it's a forever thing, like you can't, like, in my opinion, you can't just let that shit go. Like, of course you could let it go, but I feel like that's like a dickhead move. Like, as far as the way I grieve and shit like that, I'll never let none of that shit go. I'm somebody like, and I don't know if this is like the Plutonian Scorpion influence on like my moon sign, which is like, for all you fucking non-astrology nerds out there, the moon represents how you think. I'm a Gemini moon, which means I'm very cerebral, analytical, communicative, rules the nervous system, yada yada yada. That's how I'm fucking like very witty, and you know, I'm fast on my feet and shit like that. But when you have like Scorpio, like I have heavy Scorpio influence on my moon, that's when I get like the dark thoughts. Like, that's how I was able to be like super fucking depressed about shit, because Scorpio is like the deepest of the waters you could get into, right? Scorpion, the water sign, it's like anything with Scorpio is very underground, oil, like, you know, the Mariana Trench, very, very entrenched with emotions. And Gemini's not that. So it's super weird how like the dynamic and the dichotomy of the energies that I feel is like, when it gets overwhelming, I just cut it off. Like, you saw how like I was getting like emotional thinking about my homies, and I was like, nope, like I'm back up, you know. I'm just like, you know, I was down here and now we're up again, you know, because it's a very interesting thing with the astrology. Why did I even talk about why did I even talk about like Scorpio and Gemini and all that shit? I don't know. I forgot. I forgot where I was going to with like the Boy Scouts and shit. Going to the like the shit will always stay with me, right? So being like having like a Scorpion influence on my moon, that's how I could easily just be like, I don't want to think about you guys, but then go back to like, I'm gonna always love and forever cherish my brothers. You know what I mean? Those were good brothers of mine. Raul, Ian, Josh. Jaime was like a big brother of a cousin of mine. Jaime was to Mufasa what Mufasa is to me. Like, I look at him as like my older brother, and I love both of them to death. And Mufasa right now, he's in from what I heard, he's in Vegas. He deleted his Instagram and fucking he like cut all ties with everybody, and I don't I miss him, you know what I mean? I wish I could just call him, and what saddens me is that like all my other cousins, like they call and they hit him up and they're like, you know, hey, how's it going? Even though you're not like responding or whatever, I just want to let you know I've been thinking about you. I love you, shit like that. And I think it's a dickhead move for him to like not respond. Like, I know, at least not to our other cousin, who I won't even say his alias, but you know, my cousin, he came up to me and was like, yeah, you know, I hit a Mufasa and all that, and he was mad, and you know, he fucking did a line in my room, and I was just like, you know what? You may be right about cousin, but you need to get your shit together too. So we're all dealing with shit, and we all need to like get better, is like what I'm trying to say. Going back to like the whole Boy Scout shit, yeah, so like the military, why the fuck was I even talking about the military? With Boy Scouts, the heat wave, the guy from Afghanistan, right? So with the heat wave 2 years ago, I was loading phones in Redlands. This was probably when the heat wave started picking up, because I remember it being 108, that the hottest it ever got in Redlands. But then, what is it? It was 108 in Redlands, right? But then while I was in a fucking trailer, dude. So the trailer has to be at least 10 degrees hotter than the fucking outside. So let's just say, yeah, like it really did feel like 118, like Mexicali type weather over there. And it just sucked fucking balls, dude. Pause. The fact that I was loading a trailer full of phones, and these phones were new. So like the veterano was telling me that all these phones are $2,000, and I don't know what the math was on it, but he was I drive like $1 million worth of freight every day, and I was just like, the young man thievery wheels in my brain started turning, and I was like, so like, what kind of charges? Like, if let's just say I stole this shit and I took it to Mexico, what would the charges be? And he's like, well, that's a felony for crossing like international lines or some shit like that. And then every phone is one felony count of like fucking robbery or whatever. So like he was like, if you steal like 200, that's 200 felony counts of robbery and all this shit. And I was like, you know what? I was gonna sneak a phone out, but you know what? You actually convinced me not to fucking steal. But I wasn't like, I was just like joking, you know what I mean? In my mind, I wasn't gonna steal a phone. There were so many like checks and balances for you to not steal a phone. Hold on, let me hit up one thing. What kind of funny something dope and interesting. Something dope and edgy. Something. How do you spell edgy? Is it EDGY or EDGEY or EDGIEE? We'll do EDGIEI. Something dope and edgy. All right. Something dope and edgy. Unique. Cold-blooded. He's gonna be like, what the fuck? What the? Have you ever watched this shit, bro? You're watching in real time. Cold-blooded, dog. Something dope and edgy, unique, cold-blooded. Hell yeah, man. Spoken like a true wrestler. So this heat wave got me fucked up. That's why I'm in my car with the AC, and also I'm not inside the house because my parents are asleep. My work schedule's from 5 to 2. It's almost 12 in the morning right now. So literally after this, when it's 12, I'm going to go for my walk so I could fulfill my walk for the day. That way I don't have to walk in the morning. That way hopefully I could get some music done. And literally 2 days isn't enough. I don't know if we need to pass some California laws or some shit like that and get the same amount of money and work less, but I'll be with it. I'll be all over that shit like flies on Cracker Jacks. Got a couple of things I want to talk about, but we basically burned 20 minutes on some other shit that I didn't even have planned out. This is basically like a freestyle fucking This is my father's car. I want to buy it off of him, but I'm looking at my Prius right now, and these motherfucking cocksuckers stole the whole hybrid battery system while my parents, they had went, and this is the fucking crazy part. They went to the funeral. They left the Prius at the Metrolink, like fucking smart move. When the security leaves at 8 p.m., they leave the fucking car over there. You know what I mean? So that's literally on them. They're gonna buy a car and shit, but like this is what I'm saying about like just keeping like your awareness. Like right now, like I've been staring at my camera and shit, but like literally my spidey senses will fucking tingle if anything goes down, even though we're in like the safest area of Ontario. Even though it can still go down at any time and I don't have my hammer on me. But here's another thing. I don't want to disrespect my father. You know what I mean? Like, I got pulled over. I got a fucking ticket. Literally, I was thinking about having the hammer under my seat, and then the magazines in the glove box. Had those fuckers busted me, they would have found the hollies in the glove box, the hammer, and then definitely I probably would have got my I don't know how that works, but that's definitely illegal. I want to say that's a misdemeanor, and I would have fucking probably did time, lost my probation, lost my livelihood, and then I would have lost my livelihood anyway because I was fucking recklessly driving, or reckless driving, because I was going way over I was going 97 miles an hour in the carpool lane, and when the fucking CHP he pulled me over, he was all, look, I'll get you for 2 tickets. The carpool, which the judge could suspend your license. I said, I'm fucked. He's all, but I'm going to give you a verbal warning. You were going 97 in a fucking carpool lane. That's reckless driving. But guess what? I'm going to put down 89 miles. That way you can at least be eligible for traffic school. He was telling me, yo, look, whose car is this? I told him it's my dad, who was very cool with the cop, right? And for all you wondering, like, hell, yo, I'm going to get to that later, right? So with the cop, I was very straightforward with him. This is my dad's car. I'm just trying to get to work, bro. Like, he was asking, why were you driving so fast? I said, yo, dog, I work in fucking butt fuck. You know what I mean? Pause. I'm trying to get to fucking home as fast as I can so I could fucking sleep and wake up with fucking barely 5 hours of sleep so I could do all this bullshit all over again. You know what I mean? And I didn't say all that to him, but I was just being like very short, very straightforward. Like, you know, I'm just trying to get home. I work far. He's like, how come you don't fucking work closer? I said, that's just the way the dice rolls, bro. I'm sorry I can't live in fucking Chino like you and only patrol fucking 2 miles at a 60 or whatever the fuck it is. I didn't say that either because he would have fucking, you know what I mean? So he was like, I only think of funny shit after the fact too. Like, it's not funny in these moments, but I'll forever remember Cuban Links, the album, for this. Like, fuck, I forgot what song I was listening to, but I was like, I'm gonna forever remember this song as the song that I was listening to while I got pulled over. But he told me, he was all, look, if you want to fight this, you have your right, but I will show up to court and I will tell them what happened originally. You were going 97 in a carpool. The judge will most likely suspend your license. And yeah, you have the right. He was like, yeah, he was all, dog, I've been patrolling the 60 for 8 years. And I wanted to tell him, well, you ain't never caught me till now, bruh. So what the fuck? You know, it's funny because I had actually seen him before. I had seen him, and he was in the middle of the freeway, and I seen him slammed on the brakes, and I literally crawled like behind him. I made sure this fool did not get behind me. I said, if this fool even tries to, like, if he goes 45 on the fucking freeway, I'm gonna go 44 behind his ass, and I'm gonna go, but pause, and then I'm gonna get off on an exit, loop around, and get back to where I need to be and shit. But so I thank God, because had, like, my whole livelihood would have been thrown away because I need my license to work, and, like, you know what I mean? So from now on, while I'm on probation, still, and it's like, thank God I only have like 6 more weeks to go, borderline going on 5, right? Because I'm assigned for my 11th. No, I'm gonna sign for my 11th Monday. So yeah, I basically have like 6.5 weeks to go, which is nothing. It's gonna be gone like that. Like, by the time you watch this, I'll probably be like already almost done with probation, thank God. And then hopefully I could transfer to fucking LA instead of SFV, and everyone could suck my dick that was preying on my downfall. With my car, the hybrid system, they stole the whole hybrid system. That's basically like stealing the engine out of a car. Can't drive it anymore. The insurance is probably gonna deem it a total loss. I don't know how the algorithm works with them getting cashing out the check to my parents. With that, they want to buy like a SUV. Who the fuck? If you're gonna buy a SUV in 2024, you need to reevaluate your decisions. And I told my pop, don't let mom talk you into fucking buying a fucking SUV. I love this car. It's like a double-edged sword because it literally goes from like, it's a V6, so this shit like is fast. You know what I mean? The Prius goes from 0 to 60 in 5 fucking minutes. This shit goes to like 0 to 60, and I want to say like, I don't know, if I were to guess, I don't know, like 30 seconds or some shit like that. I don't know. It's not a fucking sports car, but it's a lot faster than a fucking Prius. You know what I mean? So what else do we have to talk about? Today's mathematics, man, is power. Right? Oh shit, it's borderline equality. But it's power. So 5, power, right? Going back to 555. Power is influence. Power can be a lot of things. If you know what I mean? If I'm strapped, you not, that's power. If I got a knife on you, not, that's power. Power could be a lot of things. Basically, power is the influence or advantage you have over other people. You know, if I'm the fucking supervisor, I have the power to fuck you over as like a fucking my underling or whatever the fuck, like as an employee. The flip side of that is the employees that you're supervising can fucking unite against the supervisor, and this is like totally work related, right? And make it hard for the supervisor, and then that's power. So there's always a balance in power. Like, never think that just because you have some sort of power, you have all the power. Like, power is a fluctuating piece, unless it's like you have like absolute power, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. So you never want to be in one of those situations to where you think you hold all the cards, because literally, like, power is also an illusion. So you could think that you're the biggest, like Omar in the fucking Wire. Everyone thought he was the biggest, the baddest, he had all the power, right? What happened? He got fucking shot in the head by a fucking like 6-year-old kid, you know? So power is an illusion, but not only that, there's strength and power. There's a lot of things that go on in power. So what I want to leave y'all with is just like, understand the meaning of your power and the power that's around you. What did I have the power to do? Speed on the freeway in the freeway. Yeah, I'm freed and I'm on the freeway, free as a bird. But guess what? The fucking CHP, they have the power to patrol the fucking freeway. And what do? They almost got, like, I should have, in all reality, I should have got my license suspended. What happened? The CHP, the power was in his hands, and what did he deem it that I have a clean record, I'm cool, I'm not a menace to society, I work for a great company, I got the stripes, and that was power. Power recognized power, and in that moment, he let me go with a fucking, basically a slap on the wrist. And I want to thank Officer Pena, and I don't want anyone to think that I'm fucking like pig caping and all this shit, and no disrespect to the cops, but it's just like, I hate when people feel the need to like have these stupid opinions on rappers, like, oh, like, it should always be fuck the cops or you should live your raps. Do you know how many people I've allegedly like shot and stabbed and robbed in on my raps? Do you understand that some of your favorite MCs would be doing fucking death row 9 times over if they did everything in the raps that they said? Cool G would be fucking buried under the prison. Big L, all the, like, there's so many fucking dumb shits that comes with like rap music that they don't put on anyone else, but because like R&B do, like Curtis Mayfield, he talks about, I'm your mama, I'm your daddy, I'm the dope dealer. Like, you know, no one's looking at Curtis Mayfield like, dog, you need to live your raps, it should always be fuck the cops. No, man, everyone's looking at Curtis Mayfield like he's a certified G. But when it comes to like all these other rappers and shit, everyone feels the need to like uphold you to this image. And it's like, I never said I was like the fucking most gangsterist fool. I've done some gangster shit, but like not even like super thug, like, oh, like, you know what I mean, I'm a super fucking thug, suck my dick, bitch. Like, not even, bro. Like, I try to keep it like super balanced, you know what I mean? At one point I was a soft kid. At one point I was that nerdy ass kid. What happened? I thought people thought I was soft, and I was going down the wrong path. Down the line, I understood like the pitfalls of that shit, and I climbed out of that hole, you know what I mean? And we're here. So that's just what I want to say. I want to thank the CHP officer. He didn't need to do that. He could have been like, yo, get the fuck out of the car. He could have stressed me. He could have sweated me, right? But he gave me a break. Whether or not that's like what do they call that shit? because he's Mexican or of Spanish speaking ethnicities or whatever the fuck. Brown privilege, if that's even a stupid thing. Brown privilege is next week's fucking topic. Latin X and all this bullshit, I think it's fucking crazy the way they like label shit and like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this fool's homophobic because he said faggot on his shit, or this fool's a fucking, whatever. It's like, dick. Stop watching TV and go outside and live outside of your fucking rock with Patrick the Star, because it's like there's literally people out here that you try to put in your little fucking stupid ass marginalized lines of boxes of labels that people do not fit, like me. People, when they, especially at work, people think like I'm some like thug or some shit like that. It's like, no, it's just the way I carry myself is reminiscent of some shit that you would think is misconstrued with something that you got in your dumb fuck ass mind. But me, it's like the way I was raised, the way I'm perceived, and the way I am are three different fucking realities I'm not gonna break down to you. I'm me, and I don't have to explain shit to you, bro. Why the fuck do you think I'm gonna sit here and argue with you? I'm not gonna argue with you, bro. You're gonna think what you think, and I don't give a fuck. Fuck you if you think like I'm some homophobic ass hater or like some bully or some bullshit. You think in your mind, it's like, fuck you, dog. Fuck you in that fucking bullshit ass mindset. Cause here's the thing. Y'all faggots, excuse me and my French, will talk shit about someone without ever trying to get to know them. You know what that's like? That's like trying to holla at a girl and talk shit about her because she wouldn't give you no fucking pussy. That's a weird analogy, but it's what I'm trying to say is like you're trying to judge somebody off of some shit that you have no full understanding of. You know what I mean? I could have been like, "Fuck that dickhead CHP. You should leave me with a warning or some shit like that." And he could have been like, "Okay, well, fuck you and your mother." You know what I mean? Catch this fucking license suspension, bitch. You know what I mean? But I'm understanding the doubt. I'm very understanding of people, and like real recognize real with this dude. Going back to the power, it's like I love that for the raza, where it's just like, you know what, dog, go ahead, like go live your life. If I ever see you catch you again doing that shit like that, I will put your ass in jail or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, be understanding, bro. Be cool. Going back to just be cool, bro. A lot of y'all ain't cool, bro. A lot of y'all like to stir the pot and be dumb fucks, and you don't even know it. That's the saddest part. You don't even know how fucking idiotic, moronic, fucking megatronic dumb fucks you are living in this world. And I feel bad for you. I really do. I'm really looking back like, wow, this fool's a fucking idiot, and he don't know it. So what do you do with idiots that when you surround yourself with idiots and they don't even know they're stupid? You leave. Adios. Gotta go. That's it. Ya está fuera. That was awesome. I killed that shit the last. Damn, we're already at 33 minutes? Serio? Okay. I have a lot. We didn't even touch anything. We did. I've been listening to a lot of Ghost and Ray albums. Like Ghost, I've been more Fish, fire, Fish Girl, fire, Iron Man, fire, fucking Bulletproof Violence, a little less fire, but fire. You know what I mean? Like literally, Ghost probably got like some of the best albums of everybody. Like there's albums that like I've listened to from like other rappers, and I'm like, this shit wasn't as good as like their other shit. Like, let's just say like a Joey Badass. Shout out to Joey Badass. But there's art. Even me, like I'm in that. I'm like, I don't want nobody think I'm shitting on him. Like I'll listen to my own shit and be like, nah, this shit wasn't as nice as that. You know what I mean? I feel like Ghost consistently has albums where you're like, fuck, for like, even though this shit, he might be talking about the same shit every album, the production is amazing, bro. Like Ghosts really know how to pick them beats. You dig? Shout out to Ghostface Killer. what's my shit right? Supreme Clientele is fire. And that's my whole thing. Like when you listen to like, oh, this is their magnum opus. I hate doing that because I feel like a lot of albums, they don't live up to that. In my head, in my mind, they don't live up to that. Like, I love Ready to Die. That's a depressing album. I can't listen to that album every day. I'll go crazy just listening to that album. I love it. It's a flawless album, but it's just very depressing. You know what I mean? Life After Death is pretty sad too. Just like a lot of shits that's just like, you know what I mean, from front to back. They're classics, but I feel like the replay value is very small for whatever reason. But I feel like Wu got like very, very Return of the 36. To me, that's more of like a rap comedy album than anything, because I feel like ODB, he was so unique that you can't even call this shit really like hip hop. It was like fucking dirt hop, you know what I mean? Like it was like really his own shit. So Return of the 36 for me, I'll have to give it like a strong 7. It has very little replay value because like he's singing really bad on the records. And I know Makami said that it's like a rock album. You're wrong. I don't know how many rock albums you heard, but he said, you know, fight me. I'm not gonna fight you over a fucking opinion. It's just like, that's your opinion. If you feel like the fucking Return of the 36 is a rock album, you must think fucking Only Built for Cuban Links is a country album. Like, I don't even know what that means. You know what I mean? And that's no shots. Like, it's just like, I was just thinking about that, and that's what made me go back into like listening to Wu-Tang. Literally, is that when he said that, at least 36 Chambers, the Return. When I listened to it, I'm like, this shit got crazy dope songs like Rawhide, The Stomp. There's a bunch of fucking Shimmy Shimmy Ya, obviously Brooklyn Zoo. There's a lot of dope songs, but then there's a lot of fat, like where he talked about like getting his dick sucked by a teacher, or you know, somewhere over the rainbow. Like when he's like, I'm like literally laughing my ass off. Like, this isn't even a rap album anymore. It's a comedy album. So Mike, I will fight you verbally on that. It's not a rock album, it's a comedy album, you know, if anything. I'll say the best right now, I'll say from the albums I've heard, and I've really only heard like a lot of Ghost, like maybe I'll say like a third to like almost half of Ghost albums, like, you know, Bulletproof. So like the way I'll just rank, first of all, I feel like Iron Man and Cuban Links are neck to neck. I'll edge it out to Iron Man because I think the production is better, but I'll say Cuban Links got it for the raw grittiness and edginess, and it's just fucking crazy. So, but let's just say they're neck to neck, right? Cuban Links, Iron Man. Then I'll go right below that or around that is Supreme Clientele, More Fish, Fish Scale. Then below that, I'll give it to Bulletproof Wallets. I want to listen to Wizard of Poetry and like all his other shit, right? I heard a shout out to NC. He said the what is it? The Bad Bad Not Good. I think it's called Sour Soul. I heard that album's really good. He told me. Yeah. So I just been getting into heavy Ghost right now, and that's been inspiring me. Like ever since I started, like I was bumping Locks heavy, but then that got stagnant, and I didn't really start writing. Once I started listening to Ghost albums and Ray's album, that got me into. Like, I have like 7 songs on deck I need to record, and I want to record at least half of them. What is it? Tomorrow. Or I guess later on today, because it's already 12 in the morning. Should we end it here? Maybe we'll talk about one thing. That thing. Rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan. He passed away earlier, I guess yesterday now. But very, very, obviously sad, but very random, you know what I mean? He OD'd, Segun. He OD'd, right? Let me see. Because I have my shit right here. Let me see. Rich Homie Quan. Rich Homie Quan. That's crazy. Let me see. He was 33. Damn. That's way too young. Some of them are saying he died from an OD, but Time.com, like as in Time Magazine, said, okay, well, his girlfriend said he was unresponsive and foaming at the mouth. That does sound like ODing. He wasn't breathing on heartbeat, foaming at the mouth. Okay, all right. It doesn't matter how he died. Rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan. I wasn't big into his music, but the impact he had culturally was very impressive. Very dope. I have homies who bump his music. And forever an angel in the sky, blessing us even more. I didn't listen to him, but it's like the same thing with like Triple, XXX Tentacion and like Nipsey. I wasn't into their music. I did listen to I think a few of their songs are really good, but it's just more so like when you have a cultural impact of that magnitude, it's just I salute it, you know what I mean? Rest in peace to all the homies, man. Let's get into the message of the day. Message of the day. Acceptance. Accept the things you cannot change. It's okay. Everything isn't meant for you, positive and negatively, bro. Like, you seen what happened? I got knocked, but okay, well, I skated pretty clean. So accept that. Yes, I got hit with a ticket. It's not the end of the world. I'm just going to accept it. Whatever it is that's going on in your life, you have to accept it. You cannot be a control freak and try to forcefully change everything. Don't ever do that. The illusion of power. You may think you have a handle on everything in your life. You don't, bro. So you might as well just go with the flow and accept that shit. This is the God's Hour.
Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to build the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. He wet Prada, the devil like inside your box now.
While the angels fly over my headstone.